Perish you in the land of mortar, death awaits you at the border, pass on through the gates of fire.
Welcome back to the lands of Middle-earth, all you Middle-earth role-playing fans. Roman Daisel is here. Today we're going to be looking at Perils on the Sea of Rhun, 8110 of the series, Raid Run Adventure. They released this in like 1989. I think I bought it in 1990, and I had a lot of high expectations for this because it's the first book that delved into a region they hadn't been, the Sea of Rhun, and I was hoping they'd go further and further east as time went along. But anyway, let's take a look and see what this book's got. Alright, so back down to the table. Cover art's by a guy named Richard Hook. You know, it's nice cover art, can't complain about that. Other side has a brief description as well as a regional map. For those who don't know, so you look at that map and then you have to go far to the east to the Sea of Rhun, right over there. That's the furthest Tolkien ever described the Far East himself. He never really made a lot of maps. I know he had one global map, but didn't have a lot of details. And I think his map only went as far south as Umbar, from a personal point of view. So, let's take a look inside. Nothing on the inside cover. You got the credits. You have the table of contents. You have the guidelines adapting the module, player characters. They give you, again, the standard 18 PCs that you can use. Then they go into a black and white regional map. And this gives you the region you're going to be working with and key sites. So you see the Rhovanion, which is referenced in The Hobbit as being a wine-making area. A lot of fruity beverages come from that area. And it gives you the main rivers. You have the Iron Mountains here. Then you have mainly the plains. And it's Rhovanion. So Rhovanion's the main. It's not really a country, but it's not really a province of Gondor. Gondor exerted some influence over it. And then it has the regional power. So the Eothram are down that way. Rhovanion, the Rhoynion, Sagath, Logath, Easterlings. To the southern flanks, you get the Azdrags, Variags, and Nuriags. So the men of Khand will also frequent part of it. It's cool because in a place called Aristan you have dwarves, and in the Tor Roman you have elves. So it gives you the geography of the region. And again, it's just like hills and plains with the iron hills off to the north. The Sea of Rhun does have its own small mountain range. That's where the dwarves reside. The cultures, like I mentioned, you have the horse cultures of the Eothram, the Sagath, the Logath, Azdrags, Nuriags. The Wayne Easterlings are called the Sagath, the Brigath, Gathmarag, and Audrag. MERP is creating a bunch of tribal names for these people. Tolkien only mentions the Balkoth and the Wayne Riders in his description of Easterlings. He does talk about the dwarves. The dwarves are the remnants of the 5th house of dwarves, the folk of Thelor, which makes sense to be dwarves in the mountains of Rhun. I can't see why there wouldn't have been at one time. And I like how MERP created names for the remaining houses and backstories for them. You go to Lords of Middle-earth, Volume 3. The elves, they hide out. They have their own little place in the forest of Tor Roman, ruled by the Sindor cousins of Thranduil. And they're centered at what's called Rhubar. So you have to go back to the map. And H is Rhubar. And the dwarves are in a place called Scary at Sea, which is down in here. There are an evil entity, so Sauron's minions. They hide out mostly on number 2, which is an island called Tol Baruth. And they're considered ring whites. So again, MERP is creating their own little scenario where, you know, you get the major rings of power, the 1, the 3, the 7, and the 9. But then there was a whole bunch of lesser rings, and Sauron used them to corrupt other men and enslave them. So it gives away the whole feature. The main bad guy in this scenario is a ring white. And he's not nearly as powerful as a Nazgul. And they are still mortal and they do die. But you get the powers and features of a ring white. And they're not as strong as ring race. As true race. So it goes into more description of their history. And then finally we get to the first adventure. Murder on the High Seas. Now I played with this one with a group of guys. We had my boat. It seems to go everywhere. So the merchant vessel, the Ocean Noise, has been plowing through the Sea of Rhun for 12 years. It's a 3-deck, carries both passengers and cargo at a speed remarkable, because it's got a veteran captain and crew. And she's the last ship on before winter really sets in, making the full circuit run from Elgar in the south to Shralkane. You have to go back to the regional map to find out where these places are. And there are some replacements, because some of the normal crew have gone home for the winter. And the captain's starting to have some misgivings because he thinks that the weather is unnatural. The NPCs for this adventure: the captain, Durnwine, the ship's navigator, is actually a member of the Cult of the Long Night, so he is a part of a Sauronic Cult. And he's an Eothram, and his goal is to get rid of some mages that are on board traveling with his group. Okay. Then there goes Grimwassa, which dedicated servant of the Cult of the Long Night, hired as a ship's cook, but his main purpose is to eliminate all mages on board. So they're trying to get rid of magic users, anyone who could tip off the good peoples into knowing Sauron's back. So again, this is a typical MERP adventure, the murder mystery on the high seas. It's kind of like playing the old board game Clue. So you got the rest of the crew on the White Noise. Dorfalma, who's a mage at the Tower of Ornsarn. Hergond, another magery at the tower. And then you have a real assassin on board, Lomalinde, who's a woman. Again, MERP being woke before woke became a thing. And they're trying to attract more female game players. No, nothing wrong with that. Anyway, she's the assassin hired to help kill everyone. She's so good at her job that no one knows if she's male or female. So she's the elite assassin of the Din Otar, which is the main ring white on that island. So you get her backstory. Another NPC, child of a ruling family. You got a Lossoth on board. And then you got Oscary, who's a natural heroine, another chick on board. Nothing like playing with men's fantasies with having women on board. And then you have the other passengers on the Ocean Noise. So the task: unravel a knot of clues to discover the true murderers aboard the ship. So these mages must get murdered. That would start off everything. Or you could interrupt the murderers in their murderous plot, or overhear something, whatever it is. Starting the players, so your group might take advantage of the last ship making the rounds, might get hired as a crewman, whatever. Aids, no aids, obstacles. Well, you're on a ship, that doesn't help. And you got to figure out who's to be trusted and who's not, who's done what. And it gives you all the ideas. So not bad. It's not a bad adventure. It's a murder mystery, like Clue. A whodunit. You got the Ocean Noise diagram, the top deck, guest cabins, and the lower deck. It's not a big ship by any stretch of the imagination. Rewards: you're going to get 100,000 gold pieces for the capture of the cult members. Getting rid of a cult is always a good thing. Encounters: well, obviously you're going to encounter the first victim, killed by poison. You're going to encounter Lemelinda, the elite assassin. She knows all concerning the cult of Long Knives, and she'll recognize the other two on sight. Again, with dark cults, rivalries play a major role. During the first evening, near midnight, the ship is attacked by 9 to 12 brigands who silently approach the anchored ship in longboats from the shore. That should be no problem. Hergond is the second victim. And then it keeps going down what you can do. Gives you a map of Lest, which is another one of those towns. That's not a bad diagram of the towns. So that makes a really good diagram. I like that. So overall, that's a solid adventure. Not a great adventure, but a solid one, a different one. You're on a ship. Makes a big deal. Next one: to rescue a princess. Foul kidnapper has absconded with the Princess Rufera. So again, maiden in distress. Gives you a nice map of where she's being held, minus Falith. So you always have to go back to the regional map to figure out where this is. So 4 is minus Falith, which is here in some rocky area on the hills. You have to pursue You got the High Priest of the to a Dark Lord is one of the NPCs. Gives his description. Gives a description of Minas Faleth. Cave openings, cave tunnel, main cavern. It's actually a pretty interesting location. You got the bluffs, a moat, rubble. It's actually very defensible. It gives a description of all the caverns and caves you're going to find. And rooms. Old pirate treasure is in some of them. There's a kraken, an old burial mound, hidden crevice cavern, pirate treasure again, giant clam. You can get a giant pearl out of it. So that's really interesting how you can go through all these rooms and it's like trying to find your way through. Kind of like the Goonies, looking for One-Eye Willie again. You get a cross section of Minas Faleth. Again, upper caves, what you can find in the upper caves. The tower cellars. The tower's ground floor, so then you're going in the tower. Priest rooms, guard rooms, meeting rooms, secret altar, high priest chamber, library, sanctuary, channeling room. The upper tower. So the task is you must rescue the princess Harufara and return to the ship within 24 hours. Treacherous seas will create a difficult crossing in the longboat. Hidden cave entrance, high tide, rising tides, deadly traps, and hostile guardians. You can do this all from the ocean noise again. Starting the players. Again, just carry on from the last adventure. Aids. The obstacles are obviously there's a lot of them. And you're going to run into Lomelinde again. So you got to be careful with her because she's a master assassin. Rewards. Be a pretty good reward of 1,000 gold pieces for the capture of any cult members. Good way to get rid of a cult. Again, the encounters with Lomelinde and Morlaman. Now we didn't do this. We started this adventure but never finished it. Me and the guys I played with. We got so far into the caverns and then we just stopped playing it. Can't remember why. So long ago. This is like 1990. Alrighty. Moving on, we got the Watchtower Massacre. So again, this deals with mages. The Cult of the Long Night is trying to get rid of all the magic users who might be able to detect Sauron. So they're trying to there's a massacre at the Watchtower. Read the description. I'm not going to go through the entire description of what's going on. You got your NPCs of the Din Hotar, the Ringwright. He's an Urdar, so Urdu, which could be half Dwarven. But he's an evil warrior monk. So this one, you're going on the island to root him out. You got Mordanak, the evil orc. Then you have to go into gives you a description of the Wintorian lore, which is the castle itself, the fortress itself on the island. Talks about the tower, the walls, orcs, and a fellbeast. Oh, that's nice. Got a fellbeast. Level 1 is the defensive alley, courtyard, guard rooms, kitchen. So that's not bad. It's not exactly a really defensible place. Then it takes you up to level 2. 10 is the wall top. 11 is the gatehouse. 12A is a library. 12B is the stairwell. Yep. Yeah, level 3, which takes you up to Helena's bedroom, or Adept's bedroom, students' bedrooms. So all the various cultists are there on that floor. 4 is the observatory. You got a cellar as well. And it gives you a description of the cellar. So the task is obviously to reach the Wintorian Tower and avenge the massacre. So again, you're using the ocean noise to help you get there, hiring it out, and he'll be giving this guy all your money to help you get there. Starting the players, it's just a continuation of the first 2 adventures. You just keep going on and on and on. Aids, again, you're getting aids from the government. Obstacles, obviously the Sea of Rhun is an obstacle. In the wintertime, getting on the island, fighting the orcs, then fighting all the cultists, plus a fell beast and a ring white. Rewards, again, you're going to get lots of stuff. Additional wealth and renown. And the tower itself is a storehouse for scrolls, potions, and magical artifacts. Orcs may also have a few items of interest. The encounters, Din Otar, he'll be in the library on the 2nd floor, or in the bedroom of Henalena. Then you got the Mordanak, who's a sergeant of the guard, who will attack any elf that he sees. And then you get the NPC table for the murder on the high seas, for the to rescue the princess, and the watchtower massacre. Goes into a beast table and an encounter table. Didn't go into a lot of detail into the individual rooms and stuff. This is all right. So that was my look at the Perils on the Sea of Rhun. What I think about it? Not a good one. It was pretty predictable. It followed the standard, murder, mystery, kidnapping, kill a lot of cultist idea. Nothing really special. I was hoping for a lot more than what they did. They pretty much stuck on the Sea of Rhun. I was hoping they'd go see the dwarves, maybe, and check out the elves. Because they mentioned them in the cultures. It's like, well, why don't you have them in the book? Me and my friends played the first adventure and part of the second adventure before we just said, forget it. We went through the underground caverns in the second adventure, and then I don't know what happened, we just stopped playing it. Went on to something different. Using a boat was pretty cool. And I had higher hopes for this book. So it's not going to be ranked too high on my favorite list. But anyway, so all you Middle-earth role-playing fans, let me know if you guys had this book, what'd you think? Leave comments in the comments section. And for any Lord of the Rings fans in general, I'm going to keep releasing Middle-earth role-playing, as well as Lord of the Rings strategy battle game, and eventually get on to other stuff when I run out of these things. I have lots. But anyway, leave comments in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. Always looking forward to hearing from people. Anyway, I'm Roman Daisel, I am out of here.
Shadows increasing, peace throughout the land is ceasing. Evil mist flows through the valley, silence wailing, never ceasing. From out this barren, empty land, nations form from brick and sand. Now is almost as before, peace in Middle-earth no more. Black riders on a buried trail, Hobbit's mission cannot fail. Ring must end volcanic.